I think if they do it more boutique style and get
boutique or boutique,
man, boutique.
Either way,
we're in North Carolina.
You don't have any room to talk.
so will be interesting to see. It'll be interesting.
Okay, don't hurt yourself.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
Y'all can finish. I'm done.
You made it. You made it. What? 10 minutes into the podcast before saying a word.
Welcome back to episode 35 of Loggerhead Golf Podcast. Happy New Year. Thanks for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. It's a big start to this YouTube journey, and it's only the beginning. So, did you guys have a good New Year?
Quiet for me, too.
Yeah.
A little bit of golf here and there. And then now it leads us into all this crappy weather. The dark cloud comes over again.
The snow day that's coming today.
But yeah, excited for 2024 for sure.
Yeah.
And what it brings.
Yeah.
I already started off with, ginormous news, coming from the Tiger boat.
There's something out of left field here.
Yeah, so 27 years with his partner Nike, and him parted ways yesterday. So in memoriam of this, I wore the ugliest shirt Nike's ever made.
Oh, jeez. I didn't even know that.
My God.
Yep, the Tiger Woods.
You did not wear a
this
mock
room
neck.
with you.
Tiger Woods mock neck tiger stripe.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
So where do we go from here?
I can't believe
It
you
could
bought
only...
that.
Well,
Kyle.
did you buy that?
No.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I mean,
he doesn't want to admit it.
I did not buy it from a store. I got it on eBay.
I was going to say, on a serious note,
Even worse, bought it second
that
hand.
shirt
No,
is...
it's brand new.
that
Somebody else had to buy it first before you bought it.
Yeah. No, it's smart. They bought it for $90. I bought it for $17.50.
Oh, man.
Can't turn that down, I guess.
Deal's a deal.
On a serious note on that shirt is part of the reason why Nike did not re-sign or renew a contract with Tiger Woods,
Yeah.
because ever since Nike Golf started, what is the same report we hear every year? Nike Golf division, they do what?
Lose money?
Lose money.
Yeah.
So when you look at why don't they re-sign Tiger? Well, one, his last contract was from 2013. It was a 10-year contract, $200 million. So does Tiger bring $200 million again for another 10 years? They can't, because Nike Golf has never been profitable in the soft goods, even hard goods included, when Tiger was playing Nike.
Well, I think you got to also throw in how much they're spending on their other athletes, like Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler.
For sure. Yep.
When it all adds up.
It all adds up for sure. And you got to wonder, it's like, okay, now obviously, like Kyle and I talked about it, there's a lot of people that have either currently work at Nike or have worked at Nike, and they were saying they're really upset right now that they're not leading the market in running shoes. So they're trying to get back to their roots. So it kind of sounds like they're just kind of tightening the ship a little bit.
Yeah.
But where do we think Tiger goes from here?
I want to say, and because we've even kind of mentioned, but Nike Golf in general is doing a lot of repositioning.
For sure.
So I don't think it's just on Tiger's side.
No,
of this.
no.
It's
all the dots are lining up.
that
for
it was
sure.
going to happen.
Yeah.
I know Kyle have a lot of information, but I think Tiger goes to Grayson because Charlie just signed with Grayson. And then you got Justin Thomas, who's a good friend, who's with Grayson. But I think that's where Tiger goes. But speculation.
I think if it's already in an established company, I feel like that's the only company that makes sense.
That's the one that
now,
makes
the
the
one
most
reason
sense.
why I would say fashion-wise it doesn't make sense, Tiger wears stuff like that.
I was going to say, yeah, it's not Tiger's look
Grayson
at all.
doesn't make ugly apparel. Tiger's wardrobe is terrible. He is known for wearing some of the most awful outfits. Now, his golf outfits are very simple, but especially like when he arrives to the course, stuff like that. I don't see Grayson make
Hat and the black glasses.
I say,
the Nike Vapor sunglasses.
yeah.
But I don't see Grayson making a mock neck.
probably not, but
I like to see Caleb wear some Nike Vapors.
nah. I was going to say, I think this might be a hot take or hear me out. I think Tiger's going to come out with his own brand.
I like that.
Maybe it starts as like a subsidiary of someone like Grayson or something like that. But I think it all really comes down to it's about Charlie now. Yeah. So I think Tiger's going to start trying to position ways to where I would say him and Charlie and like his family can capitalize on Charlie's marketability as he turns into a professional golfer, like gets a little older and turns into a professional golfer, like reaching 18. So I think they're going to try to position themselves to where they can kind of own all of those endorsements.
Does he own the TW logo? Does he have rights to that logo?
I think so.
Yeah, it's under TGR umbrella, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know the TGR logo is like the 3 stripes,
I don't
essentially.
know. I mean, the TW
So, like,
logo may be Nike property.
that's what I'm wondering. So that's where I'm thinking it's like if he has the rights to that logo, then I don't see what's stopping him from starting his own apparel brand. I think he's probably going to do it with TaylorMade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of makes sense how TaylorMade is no longer a partner with Adidas, or I should say as large of a partner. Because you notice in the past, all TaylorMade golfers used to have to wear Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
Now they don't. You don't see that anymore.
So they used to be under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
That's because Adidas Global owned TaylorMade.
Yeah,
but-
yeah,
and
you're
then
right.
They sold. Yeah.
So I think, I mean, TaylorMade and Callaway as a as manufacturers are probably in the best position to actually start a soft. Well, Callaway actually already
Callaway
has
has
it.
Travis
They
Matthew.
own Travis Matthew.
Yeah.
So TaylorMade, I wouldn't be surprised if TaylorMade kind of spit something out there for him.
I'm saying it may be that he ends up with part ownership of TaylorMade or like the TaylorMade
Be the-
apparel brand, whatever it is. But I think you're going to see Tiger have his own apparel brand.
Yeah.
Well, look who TaylorMade's partnered with the last 2 years. It's either been Grayson or G4. G4 Footwear and Grayson Apparel.
Well, TaylorMade also has a partnership or a partner deal with Peter Millar as well.
Well, who owns G4? Peter Millar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Peter Miller.
I just hope it doesn't end up being one of those brands that we end up seeing in Costco. You know, you think about like different apparel brands like Greg Norman.
If it's in Sam's
Jack
Club, is that
Nicklaus.
okay?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that members mark's way better.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but we'd like to see it stay exclusive to the golf courses and retailers.
Well, and that's a tough thing with apparel because Grayson's markability, I would say they probably do majority of their sales online. They only have a few actual distinct retail locations that they own, and they're kind of doing it more boutique style.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you kind of wonder if you're starting a apparel brand, do you just go with someone existing to where they have the stores that you could just put it in, or do you have to build the stores, build the locations, or do you just trust that online is what's going to drive your business? It's a tough world because the margins are so minimal. I mean, if Tiger Woods puts his logo on a shirt, it's not going to be like how Nike shirts in the past where they're $79.99. If you're going to get a Tiger Woods shirt going forward, wherever he goes, it doesn't matter which company, you're going to be spending $100 to $120 a shirt.
Yep.
That's just kind of where the market is right now in apparel. That's how much our Grayson polos.
$129 to $149, depending on the print.
That's off a golf shirt.
You put a Pinehurst
I
logo
mean,
on it 'cause that's the only place I've ever seen them.
the easiest way to think about it for the consumer, a FootJoy shirt, the classic FootJoy shirt that everyone has worn, used to be $49.99. How much is a FootJoy shirt now? They're
They
89. They're 89.
start at 79.
They start at 79, and then
$79.
like a fancy piece that has, which fancies I think have become more popular than standard stripes and solids.
Prints.
They're $90. That's for a FootJoy shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gotten insane.
One way I've always kind of gauged golf apparel, and it's just kind of like the shoe world has flippers, is all these guys that go into Marshalls and TJ Maxx, right? Is
You can find a lot of Peter Millar stuff in Marshalls.
you got Dunning, Travis Matthews, and Peter Millar all in TJ Maxx all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from the logo at your country club, if someone's carrying a Peter Millar shirt for $129, and then you run across down to TJ Maxx and buy it for $29.99, do you think Peter Millar's making money on that? No, they probably wholesaled it out to just try to recoup what money they had in it.
Well, yeah, those are shirts from 2 previous seasons. So
Absolutely.
yeah, you're exactly right. I mean,
They already made their money on that.
Well, and a lot of what TJ Maxx and those dealers do is when you do an online return, the return doesn't actually go back to Grayson or FootJoy or whoever. It goes to a wholesaler that distributes it out there.
Yeah.
So,
and then you can snatch it up on eBay.
Yeah.
yep.
My wife, when she was at TJ Maxx the other day, saw G4 head covers.
What?
Nice.
Yep.
I know every now and then I went in there and I found a pair of G4 shoes for Sarah Grace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They didn't fit, but it was like
but you found them.
$60. I found them. I mean, it's just, hey, I always love a good little find like that.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see. Jeez. Y'all can finish. I'm done.
You made it. You made it. What? 10 minutes into the podcast before saying a word. Try it again.
I'm not gonna.
All right.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm sure you can finish what I was gonna say.
I don't know what you were going to say, but you were going to say it's interesting. But what is it going to be interesting to see?
Where he goes from there.
Okay, nice. I helped you out. I was like, good luck ever getting Tiger on as a guest after saying his wardrobe sucks.
He knows it. Come on.
I mean,
I've never seen a pair of pants have so many belt loops.
I mean, I'd wear them for
I
200
just remember
million.
the thing I remember.
I'll do a lot. Yeah.
Do you remember Tiger shirts from like 97, 98 and how big they were?
Yes.
Why would anybody wear a shirt look like a parachute?
Jason Day said, "Hold my beer." Did you see the stuff he was wearing this week? He signed with Mob and Golf, which is a very
Trendy.
I guess
Ebb and flow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very trendy West Coast style golf brand that have always done kind of limited runs with certain companies. So Jason Day's out there wearing parachute pants, pleated pants, that say Mobbin on the leg.
And you should see the price of those pants too.
Yeah,
$225.
they ain't cheap.
No.
But he's bringing the Tiger Woods U.S. amateur look back.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
I honestly think, though, that's when Tiger dressed the best.
with the straw hat.
With the straw hat. I like the cotton polos that he used to wear, the slightly little oversized. And then the Nike dad hat. That was the best look.
Well, I think that's what's exciting about this time of year. It's kind of like for us as golf nerds, it's like an NFL draft, whether it's players switching apparel companies, switching club manufacturers, and then also, too, just all the new models coming out.
A lot of new stuff hitting the market, right?
Yeah, I'm excited about this year.
So we've had, we had some fun with the AI Smoke. We got to release a video a little bit early, and somebody was upset.
Got a little
Get mad.
Got a little bit
Get
infamous
mad.
about it, right?
Somebody got a little upset that we posted it before their account could. And,
write a mean blog about you.
yeah, so we ended up getting a big thank you from Callaway for what we did and reposted it, and now everybody's happy. So it's been great. But we have had some good experiences with Smoke already. I know yesterday the fitting I had was with a 28 handicap, which I like to use as an example more than a 1 handicap is.
Because that's who they're selling their clubs to.
Correct. And I don't think we found the middle of the face but one time. And part of this whole smart face technology is they're not losing that storyline of Paradigm, but redesigning the face was that toe strike. And, Callaway's marketing says it's 12 yards further off the toe now. Well, the guy yesterday
From the previous Paradigm.
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
From Paradigm, so already the successful head.
Yeah.
We started the fitting at 140 yards total driving distance, and he left at 201. And his driver was not that old. It was a 917, so it was fairly new technology compared to some of these 20, 30-year-old drivers we get. So to pick up that much yardage without changing swing speed was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
They're
Hard not to buy that driver if you pick
Yeah.
up that
60
much yardage.
yards.
60 yards. But
I was going to say, and that's dry. And like we say all the time, that's dry numbers.
yeah, and so you've played a couple rounds with yours now, right?
Yeah. I've played a couple rounds. Well, actually, I've only played 18 holes with it.
You didn't play it at the Dive Club in Myrtle Beach.
We didn't have it yet. That was mine came in the day after.
I thought you took it down there.
No, that's why I was joking, because when I was down there, I hit my current Paradigm as good as I could hit.
Oh,
a
that's
driver.
right. Yeah, I do remember saying that.
I played 18 holes with it. The easiest way I can say is the marketing is being followed up by the performance. And I can't say anything more about the performance. It's so forgiving. Even the triple diamond head. I have an 8-degree head now. I moved down in loft so I can kind of use the shaft a little more to get the ball in the air so I could keep that ball speed up. So part of me was thinking 8-degree head. Everyone knows I already hit it low. It's like, am I going to kind of start hitting low knuckleballs again? But it's anything but opposite of that case. I don't think I hit even one ball lower than I intended to.
No, you hit it on good trajectory.
Yeah.
You hit it almost as high as what I was hitting.
I know which that says something. That's there was a few out there where I felt like I didn't catch, and I'm right there with Caleb
Yeah,
where
they're
he
still right
smoked
there.
a few because his current driver setup is ridiculous. But I'm obsessed with the sound. The sound is 1,000. So I can officially say something's better than the Paradigm. The sound.
Yeah.
The sound of it is just way better when you get outside. It's no longer like that traditional Callaway thud where like you can't tell if you hit it good or if you just feel like the ball's going to fall out of the sky. It kind of actually sounds like a can.
I was gonna say it's got like a crack to it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So if you're an acoustic guy,
I like the way it sounds.
How's the feel?
I think it feels
Soft.
better. I
Soft.
think it feels better than the Paradigm. It feels more similar to a Titleist driver to me off the face.
But I think the head shape provides confidence.
Yeah.
Because when I set it down, the head looks like it's 10 degrees up, and I'm like, hell yeah.
This is not going left.
This is not going left. There was a few where I kind of snuck the ball a little right. Well, actually, I had to go back to trying to move the ball right because we all know this is the year of ball striking. So, and then I'll tie it up because Chris Kirk kind of put some belief back in. We got to make draws great
Like
again.
slinging hooks again.
We got to make draws great again. So
Yeah.
I tried drawing the ball a few times.
And it
May have
was
snapped a
not
few
good.
left.
Yeah. It was not
Hey,
good.
whoa! It was a new shaft. I haven't felt the shaft. I probably should have hit a few cuts at first since it's the first time I was swinging that shaft. But
It's always different when you
put
step
in
from the range to the tee, right?
I put the Vanquish 5X.
Oh yeah.
Which in the video, I'm like I said in the video where I went with the 70 TX Denali. That's probably what I'll end up doing. I just feel like the overall swing weight was just way too light. So like I really had to wait on it at the top and like slow down. I mean, my tempo got really good.
I was gonna say,
with it.
but to be honest, because we started on the back nine, so from 17, 18, and then a whole front nine, I would have to say, to me, watching you hit the golf ball, your tempo with the driver may have been the best I've ever seen you swing.
Yeah,
it.
and I think and I would say it definitely slowed me down in the areas that I need to work on in my swing.
Yeah.
Because we all know what my trusty move is, which is short, pull the handle left, and hit that bleeder cut.
Yeah.
The Chardonnay fade.
The Chardonnay fade.
Mm-hmm.
And if I slowed down at the top, and like you were saying, where my tempo felt great, I felt like I was high decking at the top of my swing in order to hit that draw.
Yeah.
Which if I want to draw the ball, if I want to work ball both ways this year of ball striking, can't say it enough.
Allegedly.
Putting doesn't matter.
Wow.
I got to be able to feel that pause
Yeah.
and kind of go at it. So we'll give it another shot. I mean,
I'll say to me, and it's just a couple
this
of,
time of year is tough to figure it out too.
It is. 'Cause
Outside.
You're wearing the layers, and I mean, here at the coast, it's always windy.
Oh, it was 50 degrees, but blowing 25 miles per hour
Yeah.
off the intercoastal. So it's like
I said those last three holes were
brutal.
7, 8, and 9 at the die course into a 15.
Landfall?
Yeah, into
Oh,
a 15,
Jesus.
20 mile an hour wind.
Brutal.
I mean,
Snap hooked one on 18, slung a 6-iron in there to 10 feet. Bam.
missed a putt.
Missed a putt. Putting doesn't matter.
You're a ball striker. I'll say to finish up on the
Because that 10-foot putt, I really only had a 40% chance of making it. So why
when we
even
know
worry
your
about
chances were probably lower.
it? Bull crap.
I want to finish up on the AI Smoke. To me, a couple of the subtle changes that I think have really improved this generation of the Paradigm over the last generation. And if you were kind of hesitant on it, I think you may like this one. Number one, the colorway. Mm-hmm. I think looks a lot more attractive with that kind of like graphite grayish kind of color. But then also, too, that transition from the titanium face to the carbon fiber crown. They kind of reshaped that a little bit.
No more Hurley logo.
Yeah. It's a little straighter, looks a little more square to even slightly open to the player's eye. So if you kind of weren't too crazy about a blue driver or the look of the golf club at a dress, the new one looks really good.
Even the Max D head
Doesn't look bad.
really good.
Yeah.
I had that in a couple fittings yesterday where they were thinking Max. And then that Max D head, it does not have a lot of offset now. The Max Fast is going to be that driver, which is the bonded hosel.
Yeah.
But a lot of our fittings we've already seen with it have preferred actually if they need that slightly better draw bias, the Max D head instead of the adjustable weight. Now the adjustable weight on the new driver, they added another 12 yards on top of what they previously had of dispersion, depending on which way you take that weight.
Right.
So it's, and that I would say kind of leads into when we talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is the route we're going across the board. I think today's the embargo on the TaylorMade, right?
Yeah, on QI.
Yeah. So we can talk about a little bit what the QI is going towards.
Well, I think with the smoke too, if people are kind of confused on which head to go to, we've got a great review that me and you had put out last week. So
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of wish companies would just pick like 3 heads. I mean, Titleist technically only has 3. Oh, no,
But technically it has 4.
They have 4
Yeah.
because of TS1.
TS1.
Yeah.
well, TS4 fits no one. But
Yeah, TSR4 is.
Yeah.
unless you want to punish yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Everyone wants to hit that driver, but they can't.
1200 spin. Let's go.
Sign me up. But we saw this week. I think it's a great validation for TaylorMade. Colin Morikawa had the new driver in the bag
Yeah,
this
finally
past
took
week,
the sim
and it
out.
was his best driving week he's had in a long time.
Yeah.
And
Quest for 10,000 MOI is kind of
that's what the name stands for.
that's what the name kind of stands for. So I think everybody's kind of in that realm right now, trying to get to the highest MOI driver, which is going to be the most forgiveness to listeners. That's really just what it means.
Are they? I was going to say, are we going to be able to improve on ball speed currently where we're at today compared to the last 2 years?
I think the companies are gearing more towards forgiveness now.
Yeah, because the center hits.
Yeah.
They're kind of
'cause
maxing out.
None of our customers hit the center of the face very often.
Don't say
I
none.
rarely
Well,
do.
I'd say most of them don't hit the center face often.
I
enough.
purposely hit it off of center toe.
I mean,
Sure.
Like,
all
that's just-
knuckles.
Yeah, well,
It
that's
goes
what I
far.
want.
Goes far.
And typically it doesn't go left.
Yeah.
What are you excited about with the QI10?
I think one, the construction of it, they had to go back to the drawing board. Big TaylorMade guy, been with the company for a long time, a big supporter, but we had some issues with the frame holding up at the higher ball speeds. We see clubhead speeds 100 plus, and we were starting to get some pop out to the face and with the carbon fiber face, and I think they've reconstructed and put some weight behind the face. It's kind of holding that in better, and I think it sounds better. It definitely feels better than last year. I felt like last year's driver felt a little firm or hard to me.
I'd say it was a little bit harsh, I would say.
Yeah. It didn't have a lot of what I would call feedback.
The center strike was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't hit it in the center.
The off center hit though on the Stealth 2
You call it
is.
look at the pot calling the kettle black, right?
I will
Same
say
way
my
customers
biggest
do
thing with
nowadays.
TaylorMade drivers, probably in both Stealths, so essentially the last 3 years, my biggest thing is I wouldn't be able to hit them because of how they set up. They've knocked it out of the park with the look of this new one.
Yeah.
The new one looks 10 times better. I like that little gray sleeve they put right above the face. That way you're not seeing where the face connects with the crown.
Yeah, I think it's
Right.
called like the Infinity Crown or Infinity
Yeah.
Face or
Yeah.
something like that.
And ultimately look provides confidence. So, but I think that because they just went back, they're not calling their tour head or the low spin head the plus, it's LS now.
Yeah.
So will be interesting to see what happens in the fitting bay with it.
I think it's
We're
kind of
going to have to make a blooper reel of every time Nikki has tried to say interesting. Miles, put that on your agenda.
Yeah,
No.
Go ahead and write that down.
well, I think what's going to be
Can you just blurp, like beep?
pivot.
Just
I think what'll be pivotal though, because we're going to talk about it with another company. We're all on social media and read a lot of golf. This is kind of TaylorMade's opportunity to win the trust back.
Yeah, so they have to make a big splash in the
Because
market this
with the
year.
M series, it's arguably the best series of driver, best families of driver that's ever came out from any golf brand.
ever.
I mean, M1, M2, second gen M1, M2, M4, M6.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still people playing M2
The
fairways.
M5 was probably the anomaly.
Yeah. Unless you were Brooks Koepka, you didn't really play it.
Because the M4 was so good.
I liked the M5.
Yeah, well,
And we transition into the carbon wood stage.
you like hitting high knuckleballs.
There you go.
And Stealth 1 wasn't near as bad as Stealth 2 was in terms of quality control. But sometimes in golf too, I mean, we've seen it with all brands. Is when you try to push boundaries, sometimes they flop.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, Nike had a big flop. Callaway's had a big flop with the ERC. So they were the first ones to actually do a carbon driver. So I mean, sometimes you have these flops, but the downside in modern golf is what's everybody got now? A cell phone or access to
social media.
So it takes
All you
one
see-
bad
Well,
Well,
egg.
they're trying to get the customer to go right to their link to purchase the driver.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it as easy as possible to not technically get fit.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's like realistically, how much time do they have to R&D? The construction with the whole carbon.
How
face
long
and
has the
everything.
TaylorMade said they've been developing this driver? The
QI10?
the 10K or
It's been in the process for years.
I think they said like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Like they knew this driver was coming out in 2024.
I mean, at some point, I
It
think
has
4
to
it's
go
years
through
ago.
so much testing, and then you have to get it approved by the R&D.
Like
know
part
what,
of me
but-
thinks Callaway
But what I was gonna say
did
to
it.
this
Callaway
point,
just used their computer and was like, "Hey, we
Yeah,
can make
well,
the
they let
paradigm
AI
better."
design it,
So
but,
yeah,
what I was gonna say to my point with that is when they're testing the new drivers, I'm sure they're looking at maximum performance and everything, so they're probably using a tour kind of quality golf ball. But what are most of our amateurs that are the consumers playing? What are they using?
Budget ball,
Yeah,
And on the
budget ball.
driving range, what are they hitting?
rocks.
A pinnacle range ball,
Yeah.
right? And it's probably been stored outside. It's cold. It's a literal frozen rock.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I think some of that beating balls with range balls are kind of cracking some of those.
also
faces.
this time
That's
of year,
true.
if you're in the southeast and we're having these cold, wet mornings, please make sure to, if you're going to warm up with drivers, put some golf balls in a towel and let those balls warm up a little bit. Make sure they're dry before you hit it. A wet, cold range ball will crack your driver.
Yeah.
I can't say that enough. I mean, that's the first thing I kind of noticed at landfall the other day. Like I picked up a ball, the ball was a rock. I was like, nope, not hitting that. Not cracking this new head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a one step down from a Pro V. Was
Oh
an
yeah, they're
NXT
NXT tours.
Yeah.
Tour speed.
or
Tour Speed, sorry.
Yeah,
Actually, no. I think the Tour
think-
Soft.
yeah.
Same thing as a Titleist ball. But
Mid range ball.
Yeah.
you've been playing TaylorMade drivers for how long now?
I've been with the company for 16 years.
Okay. And then you
Ever
kind
since
you
the
kind of
300 series.
you kind of like the Stealth. It's probably the best you've hit driver.
Yeah,
And then you kind of bounce back and forth between your old and new the past year.
I have. I think the original Stealth for me was the best when it coming out. I really struggled with the new one this year. Just knuckling and just consistencies from shot to shot. And, for me, I don't like to brag about my game, but driver is one of the best parts of my game and
Yeah.
putting.
Yeah, no, you're a good driver of the golf ball.
But I struggle with iron play, mid
It's your
irons.
ball striking, Daryl. We can fix that.
I know. Yeah. Ball striking here. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of have a driver that I have confidence in again. Mm-hmm. So I just got to find the right shaft. It's time for me to change shafts this year.
And I would say that kind of leads into
50 gram X Flex.
TaylorMade. Stealth iron was their best game improvement iron they've
I
ever
said
made.
the Stealth iron has been really good.
It's the longest I've ever seen TaylorMade keep a club in the lineup.
I was gonna say honestly,
It's
the reason
almost
why
3 years.
it's done as well as it has is because they haven't refreshed it before it was ready to come out of the line.
Yeah. But they do have a new iron coming out to replace that.
Yeah.
And it's the new QI10 iron,
Yeah.
which I think TaylorMade is they're putting a lot of money into not just the driver. I think they really focused on just the driver and the Stealth too. Now you can see even the new fairway woods.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of players that aren't TaylorMade put that new QI10 fairway wood in.
It's really good. It's really forgiving. It's easy to get in the
Yes.
air.
Well, to me, TaylorMade's always made a good fairway wood anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be it would be.
Say it. You can do it.
Oh my god! I would like to see how the QI10
We've lost the
iron
course.
has performed with the Stealth.
Yeah.
Which we still have the Stealth head.
like
So we're
good
going to
comparison.
I think when we do our tech talk, we should definitely include the Stealth iron
Yeah.
to the newer one because hopefully it got a little better.
Yeah, and then yesterday's embargo, Mizuno's first pro line, 2
Mm-hmm.
years. So refreshment with 245, 243, 241. So
Mm-hmm.
not to make it sound boring, but Mizuno irons just
They're a
it's
Mizuno
good.
Pro Series.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they have that kind of a cult following.
Yeah, we just put up a video yesterday of Kyle doing the tech talk, me hitting him for the first time, some initial reactions. The coolest thing was last night, Luke Donald is playing the new, I said 245 is probably you're going to be surprised how many players go into that iron. Luke Donald, first tour pro to officially put them in the bag because he says they're way too easy not to have in the bag.
When it seems like they fixed some of the
sole.
previous generation, you could get like knuckleballs with it, and it seems like the
Soul
spin
relief and
Well, they
far.
essentially didn't have a grind on the 225.
right.
And that's where the sole on the 225 was kind of weird. And I think that's why you saw a lot of knuckleballs because that club wasn't able to get into the turf.
Yeah.
So you're hitting everything kind of low on the face, which all these modern irons, the CG's so high that's just going to kind of knuckle on you.
Yeah, they were able to achieve that and kind of fix the hot spot issue with a variable tungsten weight. So it's free floating inside of the chassis of that hollow body construction.
I would say the jury's still out on the 241 blade for me. I think it's the grind. Like I would have to get on the grinding wheel if I played those irons. I just think that toe side's a little too squared off. But that 241 has a cult following. So
Well, the Mizuno blade has always had a cult following.
I'm sorry this year, lefties, you don't get to play the 243. You notice that?
Yeah,
Only-
245 and 241.
Yeah, lefties, because last year it was lefties couldn't get the 225s. Or 2 years ago, I should say.
yeah, the
But
previous
this-
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But lefties this year, they can get that new 245 and 241.
Yeah, I think Mizuno's consistency and innovation, and what I also like is that they don't come out with a new product every year, and they don't have to. I mean, the
Well,
quality.
they've done They've done quite a few things to kind of refresh the MP lineup. I mean, now they're doing in the the 243. They're doing the chromoly.
Chromoly and the
So
237.
And again, their biggest selling point on their chromoly is forgiveness off of off-center strikes.
Faster ball speed.
Faster ball speed.
It's a harder metal.
Ball speed does matter in irons. I mean, there's no reason to give up ball speed because now with modern shafts, we can control launch and spin with shaft more than we can the head, or just about the same amount. So if you wanted to get into that slightly forgiving iron, and I know it's very easy to be scared of that jumpiness factor, there's ways now to counteract it because these heads are so specifically designed.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Donald bent his 4 degrees weak
Yeah.
to eliminate the variability.
But the reason why he switched was because of ball speed.
Yep.
So I think
And what was the number one thing Luke Donald said, which he was the number one player in the world for a long time? Sorry, Caleb.
you're good.
What was he the best at?
Iron play.
Moving the ball.
Yeah.
And wedges. He's
Moving-
always been a credible wedge player.
He is from tee to green. There's very few players that can work a golf ball like that. So you have a former world number one saying that he can work these irons. I will say the number one thing that kind of is like a little bit of it grinds my gears, a little bit of pet peeve is when I hand somebody a 790 or a 225 and they're like, this isn't a workable iron. I was like, I can sling a stealth iron.
I can hook it with anything.
I can also fade it with anything. So it's like, that's just a product of kind of yourself a little bit.
Path and face.
Yeah, it's just path and face, just math.
Just math.
It's just math at that point.
So what I was going to say is with Luke Donald bending his 245s 4 degrees weak, I think that's probably just more of getting him into the same loft
That
as
he's
what he
used
was
to.
used to
Well, he
playing
said
his
he said
blade
windows.
irons.
He said because he
Well, that's
just
getting him into
he already hits it low.
Well,
So-
that's what I was going to say. By bending that loft weaker, he's probably that head's already spinning better than what the previous generation was. But getting him into the same spin windows is what he was used to seeing.
And also,
with his blade style irons.
If you go buy him off the shelf, you can't do that.
yeah.
You get fit for him. We can bend them however you want.
Yeah.
Well, then Cobra had their refreshment. And honestly, with what testing I've seen, it's called Darkspeed. So they've got the 3 different driver heads, and the iron looks awesome. I mean, it's not quite a black finish, but it's also not gray. It's kind of an in-between.
It's like a copper.
It's dark speed.
Yeah, exactly right. Because honestly, and just like we've done with everybody, we're not afraid to tell the truth. Last year's driver was kind of a flop.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you found that niche person who wanted a firm face that didn't spin.
Yeah.
And what's impressed me most, I've actually had 4 ladies fittings where that iron, out of every iron we've tested, was about 8 to 9 miles an hour in ball speed faster. And traditionally speaking, when you get into the ladies market, every iron, not to make it sound so boring, but it's kind of engineered the same way.
Yeah.
Where this one, there's no
Hollow
difference.
body with plastic on the back.
Yeah. So there's actually some tech in this iron. So a lot of your slower swing speed players, at least with fittings I've done with it over the last 2 weeks, because we can actually start ordering them today. It's been really impressive to see the slower swing speed player this year already pick up a lot more ball speed. Because it's like what we hit on earlier. The faster club head speed players, we're going to be gearing them for more forgiveness. Like the game improvement segment, they've focused on forgiveness for 11 years, and they've sacrificed ball speed because
Now
of
they're
it.
catching
And now we're
up.
kind of seeing the flip flop where the pro irons are getting more forgiving because they've maximized the threshold, and now game improvement, they're getting more speed without sacrificing forgiveness. So it's kind of a interesting time in engineering.
Yeah, I mean and that's where I think the max head with the Darkspeed, especially in the woods, as well as the irons, if you need help keeping that ball from working away from you, moving right or moving left if you're a lefty, it's hard to beat that draw bias Cobra head, because Cobra always has that slight little bit of offset. Even though they don't have their actual offset driver, actually they do have new Air X.
Air Speed or something crazy.
RX2, yeah, which is their offset driver. But even their current models that are the more forgiving models, they do have a little bit of offset and a lot of weight. They use a lot of adjustable weights to kind of help also eliminate that cut spin. So
one cool little Easter egg is what, in a video game, like a hidden feature is called an Easter egg. So it's obviously they have 3 heads, so confusion, right? They color coded them.
yeah,
So the red, which is the most forgiving head, red is high launch.
Yeah.
The blue head is mid launch. The black head, the tour head, is low launch.
Yeah.
And then the shafts that they're offering this year, hazardous red,
Yeah.
high launch, the Link Q blue, mid launch, and then the hazardous black and Link Q white, low launch. So they kind of color coded.
They kind of follow the shaft
Yeah,
color
that's kind
coding.
of cool.
So it's kind of I thought that was pretty cool on them.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's who else are we missing? Oh, well, 10K Pings.
Yeah.
Ping has their new driver coming out.
So 10K embargo, I believe, is Thursday is when we can start fitting it. Or it's the 9th, I think, is the date. So today, actually.
Yeah.
So we can start fitting 10K because the G430 MAX, that was kind of a special head. I mean, Louis was still playing it up until this year because he cracked his last one. It's rare to get a low spin driver that had over 9,000 MOI. And with that 10K head, it's, I think it's like 10,761 or something crazy. So it's like a LST and a max at a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, again, like you said it just a little bit ago, this max head, if you're have a little bit of club head speed, but still wants a little bit of forgiveness, it's an easy transition to get away from the LST.
Yeah, and it's still got that titanium chassis with the carbon crown. And then
So the spin is going to be there.
and the sound, too.
Yeah.
It's a nice crunch. And then they've got Blueprint S and Blueprint T, which are fitting cart shipped yesterday. So, that Blueprint S has already taken the tour by storm. Everybody played those S55s, even uncontracted players. That iron's 11 years old.
Well, I say the S, even starting with the S59, it's been a popular iron for Ping for years.
I mean, how many major championships has that iron won? I mean, Matt Fitzpatrick. I mean, Bubba. I mean, you look at ball strikers, they're all playing that specific iron. So
is it interesting that they play it?
No. Hey, Thigalo this weekend playing those new irons.
Yeah.
Blueprint S's and Blueprint T combo set. If anybody can hit the ball like him, it'd be pretty special. So it's definitely a great year to get into some new irons, and probably the biggest surprise this year iron wise. And you can see they're making a big comeback as Wilson.
Yeah.
We got some new irons coming out from them, and also a new fitting technology, which may or may not make our job easier.
Yet to be determined.
Yet to be determined.
So they're going back to the retro Wilson logo. They're kind of revamping it. This new CEO and VP essentially said, and they're not afraid to admit it, that they ran their own company in America kind of a little bit into the ground by trying to get in every big box store with these starter sets. And
that's what Walmart will do to you.
So
they get you. About
3 years ago, you saw kind of the big switch. It's like, well, crap, in Europe we're dominating, but in America we can't even capture a sale.
Yeah.
So brought in some new staff, cleaned house with the old staff, got rid of a lot of tour pros and signed Kiz and a few of these other kind of younger guys making a comeback. But the new iron, it looks like an old school Wilson. So like the little bit of decoration right below the ferrule, like that's
Snarling.
Yeah. They redid the logo. So they took the WS off the logo, went back to the old school retro logo.
The shield.
So it looks good. It's a really clean lineup, and price point wise, they're coming in about $400 under where we are at with most other blades on the market. So.
Yeah, because most blades now, they're going to be anywhere from 180 to 220 a club. That's just kind of where we're at market wise with R&D and materials being put into clubs.
I mean, performance and feel wise, they're good.
Yeah.
And their golf ball. I think that's been our biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Is, we won't disclose what balls we've tested it against, but one ball is $54.99 retail. The other one's coming out, I think, $46, and it's 9 miles an hour faster.
I say honestly,
Does that make a difference?
The Wilson staff ball is actually really good.
So
How many yards for every mile per hour?
it's
Ball speed?
2.7, I believe.
You're a ball striking, right?
Yeah, adds
So-
up. Your
And that's,
ball striking makes
That'll be a
putting
new
lot easier.
addition in the shop too. I think we're going to be the only shop in the greater Strand area right now, like around Wilmington down to, that'll actually have the staff tour golf ball, so you don't have to order them online. So kind of a cool lineup to add into the shop, more of a specialty item. And speaking of comebacks, so the fourth time I guess in 12 years, Ben Hogan got bought out again. It's kind of like Forrest Gump went to the White House again. So Golf Brands Incorporated out of Nevada purchased Ben Hogan. And what they really did, they purchased
I was
about...
gonna say, to me, this is still a little bit of like shadow play. You know?
yeah. They
They
bought all
essentially
the...
they returned on the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had all the old inventory from the last generation, and
Yeah.
they were good clubs. Like, and
Yeah.
what we talked about this morning, they still look good. It'll be interesting to see if they try to follow the same models,
done.
because the last exactly because the last two companies that bought Ben Hogan tried to do direct to consumer, and they both failed. So I'll be curious to see if because Golf Brands also bought Ram in the last year, McGregor, and Zebra putters
They're just collecting all of those retro brands.
under one umbrella.
Well, I know we talked about all this a lot the last couple podcasts with direct to consumer brands. We got a little bit of flack from people that are big supporters of DTCs.
DTC.
But
It's interesting.
every single brand that is direct to consumer, you're starting to see them trickle in certain places you can get fit.
Yep.
You can get fit for sub 70 at some places. Sub 70 is one of the biggest and most profitable direct to consumer brands. Wow. Why do you think that is? Because people can actually touch, feel, and hit it. I don't see how in today's world a DTC brand can make it if you can't have somewhere to test your club.
Well, I mean,
Now, if you technically have somewhere to test and fit your club, you can't also consider yourself a DTC. So it's like, how much do you want to commit to that name? Because I feel like you're undervaluing your business by throwing that into your actual mission statement, I should say.
Well, I mean, Ben Hogan's one of the largest names, period. I mean, when you think of a forged iron, you think of Ben Hogan first.
It's probably the number one old,
I mean,
cast iron
honestly,
that comes into the fitting base that are finally getting updated because, like, I love these for so long. They're traditional apexes.
I was gonna say, yeah. How many apexes we still have? People playing.
And
least once a week.
when I see a guy that has those irons in his hand, has for this longest time, I'm like, this guy loves to hit irons, and he's just looking to find something modern that feels like it.
And so when you think of the traditional classic muscle back iron, you think Ben Hogan and you think Wilson Staff.
Yep.
To me, I wouldn't really call, because Hogan has been bought and sold so many times. The Hogan Golf Company, I should say. I don't know if I would call this back yet until we see them release some new designs.
I agree.
I think they lost the chance to say back because they are not the Hogan that came out with apexes.
It's kind of like Tom Brady retiring twice.
Well, I'm just saying they're not the Hogan that created. It's not the same company that created the apexes, which is like the current apexes that we talk about in our bays that come in all the time.
Yeah, it's not the same R&D team.
It's not. No.
Yeah.
So like that's my thing, and that's one of those things where it's like labeling, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a brand.
I mean, there's a reason why when you go to Belk, you see Ben Hogan apparel. That Ben Hogan apparel is actually just a wholesaler out of somewhere. It's just. And that's just kind of the tough thing for me, for them
I would say,
coming back.
For me, this iteration of the Ben Hogan Golf Company, I wouldn't consider them back yet until they come out with new designs, because this is still their new old stock. This is
Not
the golf.
new.
These are the golf clubs that they were still selling when they closed the last time. So I would want to see them come out with some new designs.
Well, I think it'll be
And
curious.
honestly, I kind of, if they are going to be around, I'm looking forward to seeing them come out with some new designs because
that's what I was
they
gonna hit
do.
up.
I've
Yeah,
always
I
liked
hope
the
they do.
Hogan Irons, and so I want to see what that next
I
Hogan
wanna see something
Irons is going
new.
to be. Exactly, I
New
want to see
from
something
them.
new.
Because they've always been good. They've always been affordable too.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see if they follow suit with direct to consumer, considering it's failed twice in a row. Because I think if they do it more boutique style and get
Boutique or boutique?
man, boutique.
Either way.
We're in North Carolina.
You don't have any room to talk.
It's very interesting. No, if they find specialty shops like us
Yeah.
that actually care about numbers, performance, and fitting to actually carry their product, I think that'll kind of set the precedent for where they can go.
Well, and if you think about this current iteration of the Hogan Golf Company, when they came out, they reopened again. I think it was 2015.
Yeah.
Because they had the Fort Worth 15 iron. They were direct to consumer, but their whole idea was that we were going to give you unlimited amount of options because they had that iron offered in every loft possible. Remember, they didn't even stamp the club numbers on the bottom of the club. They stamped the loft on it.
Yep.
And that was kind of the first thing that made them like hard to sell, is because I don't know what my 26 iron is, kind of thing.
Math.
But that was what they started with, being very boutique and offering all of those options. So I don't know. The Hogan Irons
be
have always
interesting
looked
to see.
good. Yeah.
So
Good job.
yeah, very interesting topics today, and we'll continue to pump out tech reviews over the next few weeks as we get the new product in hand, because we're still a month early on most of these release dates.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's going to be a big January, February.
Yeah.
exciting time in the golf world. In order to see those videos, it helps if you subscribe and turn on push bell notifications, because as soon as we post, you get that little ding and it pops up. So
I'd also like
Can
to
you do
butt
that
in here and say a special thank you to Miles for all the work you do on the podcast and the creative genius behind it, and these guys here that you guys continue to watch. They're phenomenal, great golf professionals, provide lots of feedback, and just thank you for everybody for subscribing to the page.
So we just reached a milestone, 1,000 subscribers. So
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Yeah, we really appreciate it for everyone.
yeah, so turn on push bell notifications, get us to 2,000 now.
Yeah,
big
right.
goals.
That's
We're
right.
big time now. Miles Finch. Yeah. No, but we really appreciate it, and tune in next week for episode 36, and we'll catch you on the next one.